here on NewsX World. It's a pleasure to have you on the programme. We now move over to West Asia for our next story, and Israel has launched new airstrikes on Gaza early this morning as both sides accused each other of violating the ceasefire that came into effect on October the 10th. Gaza's Civil Defense Agency says 3 people were killed and 15 others were injured after a residential building was hit in the Bani Shwela area of eastern Khan Yunis at around 4 a.m. local time. Authorities say the strike stopped after 5 a.m, but reports of ongoing artillery fire continue from the Khan Yunis region. The Israeli military is yet to comment on the strikes, however. Humanitarian agencies are closely monitoring developments as civilians in the area continue to face severe risk. Joining us now here on the programme is Sander van Hoorn, a former EU correspondent, and he joins us live from Amsterdam in the Netherlands. Thank you very much for joining us here on NewsX World, Sander. Pleasure to have you. Israel says that 3 people have been killed in these new recent strikes. This, of course, follows over 20 killed yesterday. What's triggering this violence, and what effects does it have on this already fragile ceasefire in place in the Gaza enclave?
It all started, according to Israel, when 3 of its troops were attacked, allegedly by Hamas. Hamas denies they attacked Israeli troops, but that sparked this current flare-up of violence. And most recent figures provided by the Hamas-run Ministry of Health in Gaza point to over 30 people killed so far. And Hamas is blaming Israel for violating the ceasefire. Now, the second part of your question, the fragility of this ceasefire, it holds as long as both parties still say it holds and don't say it doesn't. So for now, both parties say they will stick to the ceasefire. We've seen flare-ups in the past, but every flare-up, of course, carries the risk of a major escalation that will not be brought to an end swiftly.
Yeah, and obviously, Sander, there are talks of now what is going to be included in this second phase, an international stabilization force, among other terms. But of course, the sticking point here is the disarmament of Hamas. If this violence does continue, of course, from both sides, allegedly, what are your hopes for the future of this second phase being implemented?
Well, the upside is that the Americans are still involved. That is what got this whole process moving, and their continued involvement is necessary to basically keep both parties, Hamas as well as Israel, to stick to the Trump 20-point plan. And according to this plan, yes, Hamas will be disarmed, but Israel has to withdraw further to the Israeli border of Gaza, something that has not happened yet as well. So both sides will have to take steps, but you see the international community preparing for this phase 2. So yes, there will be an international stabilization force, but who will take part? Will it be Azerbaijan? Will it be Indonesia? Will they be able and willing to confront Hamas in the process of disarmament? And there's even thoughts that go even further ahead. For example, the European ministers of foreign affairs today are discussing training a police force for Gaza. Well, that is like a dot on the horizon, but the first step, of course, is to make people on the ground, the Israelis and the Hamas fighters, understand that they will have to stop fighting in order to proceed with phase 2.
Yes, Sander, do stay with us as we move over